So just recording this to put something out there, as Hull City reportedly put under an embargo by the EFL, a transfer embargo that could apparently last not one, not two, but three transfer windows. Further sanctions possible, potential points deductions, which if that was last season, we'd be in League One. I mean, with the Barry deal falling through, I don't necessarily think that was, or at least it was not built as a. There's a lot of misinformation about that. I'm not exactly in the know on these things, but as far as I've been told by some people, it's more of an issue that the agents said we want more money. So that isn't necessarily an indication that we can't afford things. It's more that we can't afford that particular deal. Plus, you can spend £3.5 million on one player and not be able to afford the other one because of the transfer fees and the agents' fees and the sell-on fees. Different things. They're not one and the same. Of course, it was a few months ago, just before the Derby or the Portsmouth game, they were paid late. Not paid late, like past the deadline, but paid later than normal. Again, that could be an indication, but obviously we've been linked to Barry, and that was a done deal on Sunday and not a done deal on Monday. So this is not something that they were expecting, obviously. The running of the club has, I think we had a pretty good first season, and then we got almost into the playoffs. We had a good year. The last year or so has been not atrocious because we did stay up and we have signed some players, but it has been, not atrocious. It's only been terrible. So, we're sort of splitting hairs there. I think this is going to be likely. I've seen a lot of people saying, is this something we need to be worried about? I don't think, because this is something that the EFL are going to put out in a message, probably now they'll be forced to, because the Telegraph has put this article out there. That will be very quickly disproven. You just wait 24 hours, and if there's no official statement from the club or the EFL or Adjan, though I'm sure he's going to be a whole lot less communicative than he was, on Monday with the talk. Obviously it puts the club at huge risk of relegation after we just stayed up last year, and we're not going to be able to improve the squad. Ollie McBurney, that deal is going to be off. All the permanent transfers we want to sign, Freegan today, the Croatian striker, off, obviously. Would a lot of players leave? I suppose so. Equally, does selling a player actually help in this situation? I don't know whether it does, whether that sort of thing helps, or whether it's the wage bill more so. He's got to go. This is not the way you run a club. Obviously, I think when you're spending money and being able to sign players, I've always thought, well, compared to what we had with the Lambs, I'm happy Adja wants to spend money, and the ambition is always exciting. You support a football club because you're excited by the sport and you want them to succeed. Spending money helps you do that. It's exciting that we're being linked to players that, are higher calibre than we were used to under the Lambs the last few years. And we'd been down to League One there. But if that's going to, put us into League One, and we're not going to be able to get up again because, we're in such a terrible position, and we have lots of points deductions or go into administration because he pulls all the money out and we're in significant debt, and then we're sold to someone even worse, then that's not a way to run a football club. He's, going to have known, surely, he's either a complete idiot or he's a liar, because on Monday he said, we do not have financial issues. Yes, we do. And no, it was pretty recent. He said that pretty publicly. So I think his relationship with the fans is, that's dead in the water. There's no way you're going to be able to say, well, we don't have financial issues on the Monday, and by Thursday we're under a transfer embargo. We've got two strikers, 3 championship goals between them. Maybe we'll finish above Sheffield Wednesday. Is our only hope now that Charlton are truly honking and another 4 clubs go into administration as well? Because we're that bad. Yeah, it just puts everything else into perspective. And it's interesting because on Talksport, I don't know who it was who said it, but Adrian would be taking us down into League Two, and then we almost got, not almost got into the Premier League, but we had the chance there to get into the playoffs, and with that squad, we would have had a shot. And it's just taken longer than you suspect. We're not down already. This news broke 20 minutes ago. We haven't got a clue what's going to happen, but obviously, if you want to delight in being proven correct, it's not a pleasant thing, though, is it? That's happened to this club. So, some people say, "Oh, I don't, want the club to fail just because I'm being negative," and that whole discourse is going to be exhausting. It's a heat wave. It's too exhausting anyway. Everyone's depressed. We almost had some optimism. Let's all band together, please. Let's not just argue and argue and argue constantly about being negative or whatever. I guess no one should be happy that maybe people have been proven right that Adrian's been a bad owner, because Sunday night we were all positive again and that we're going to sign Louis Barry, which was exciting. So yeah, you can be negative, it's fine. A lot of the times you're not being negative per se, you're just saying it as it is and that there are issues. Equally, they've never, because we didn't know this was going to happen. I mean, £1 million late to a Premier League club, don't know who that is. Is that Villa? Um, who have we even bought from Premier League clubs? Jaden Philogene. There'll be others. I can't remember. Maybe that's why the Barry deal fell through. They didn't like that. Yeah. I mean, and again, you're not planning ahead. I don't think they knew this was going to happen because they were going to buy Barry, and he could have been announced by now if that deal hadn't fallen through on Monday. It could easily have been sorted by this time, and I don't know whether that means we would have had to give him back. I don't know, but João Pedro, top scorer, old, I know, but he was contracted to us, and now we have Burstow and Carl Joseph. So you know that's not good. Yeah, one normal day of this club is all we ask.